I'm singing in the rain, but is it worth it on 4K? Let's talk about it. What is up, everybody? I am Mace from the Mock Buzz YouTube channel, and we are going to be talking about Singin' in the Rain on 4K Blu-ray. This is a pretty anticipated 4K for me, mainly because this was filmed 70 years ago, one of my favorite musicals, and it's made on Technicolor. It was filmed in Technicolor, so I'm very excited to talk about it. Anyways, I'm going to be talking about three criteria of this 4K Blu-ray: image quality, HDR, and audio quality. So let's get into the tech specs. This is a 4K Blu-ray set. It comes with a 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray, a standard 1080p Blu-ray, as well as a digital code. This is in 2160p HDR10, filmed on a Technicolor 3-strip camera on 35mm. Native 4K goodness, of course. There's no CGI in a 70-year-old film. So when it comes to the audio formats, no 7.1, no Dolby Atmos. It's just an English DTS HD MA 5.1, as well as the English DTS HD 2.0 mono, the original soundtrack. Alright, now let's get into the overall image quality, basically the sharpness and how 4K it is. Again, ported from 35mm with a 4K digital intermediate. The overall sharpness and detail in this transfer is absolutely magnificent. Whether it's clothing detail of like Lena's dress, you know, when it's decorated in all these like very fancy sequins and feathers and stuff like that, to the little like details of like seeing like the the flowers, like, you know, when like back in the old days when they put flowers in their lapels or whatever, and you can see the details of the flowers. Everything looks great. Especially raining when it comes to when like the rain hits the jacket, looks nice. When it hits the umbrella, it trickles off, as well as it hitting the car roof and then trickling down to the window. It looks absolutely amazing. The detail is absolutely superb. Close-ups on face look absolutely amazing. You're able to see beauty, like blush and makeup artifacts and like all that stuff, wrinkles and all that stuff. It looks really great, as well as the beautifully crafted set design and, like paintings, tiles, just everything out, like people's homes, the Hollywood home mansion, everything. It looks absolutely amazing. Overall, this image is beautifully detailed and it jumps off the screen. The only setback, not really, is that with the heightened detailed, you can see Debbie Reynolds driving in a car. It's 100% not Debbie Reynolds. It's some body double who's driving. It looked absolutely hilarious, especially when it comes to those black and white scenes, those action scenes, and that like somewhere near the first act, whenever Gene Kelly's character takes a bump, like falls over. That's definitely not Gene Kelly. You can see the guy's face clear as day, and that's definitely not Gene Kelly. But hey, that's cool. I didn't find it that obtuse of like, oh geez, what the hell, this is a film, I didn't know this, I want to be immersed in a cinematic experience. It didn't really ruin that for me. Now, being that this is a 70-year-old movie made on film, of course there's going to be grain. It wasn't as bad. The structure is more natural. It feels like, you know how when you see, I always use this monogram, but whenever you see like a painting made by hand and you see like the brush strokes, that's kind of what the grain is here. But, being that this is a 70-year-old film, some of the shots were soft and it had like a shit ton of grain, but it wasn't that frequent and that often to where it took me out of the film. It took me out of that 4K experience. It wasn't that bad, so it didn't really ruin my experience. So let's get into the HDR. This being filmed on Technicolor, and given that HDR treatment, is just a blessing to cinema. The colors look absolutely amazing on my OLED TV. The vibrancy with a proper color contrast looks amazing. Iconic raincoat scene, like that vibrant yellow. And this being a movie about stage shows, background spotlights look dazzling. The glittery pinks and greens and oranges look absolutely amazing. Reds look great here. And it's not just like the overtly colorful scenes. Even subtle things like skin tones look great. It doesn't have that overly, like remastered feel. Like whenever you watch like an older film that has been remastered or restored, not all, but some of those older Blu-ray transfers have like a cartoonized, like matte painting feel. This doesn't have that, although it does have that very shiny, glimmery, like old Hollywood. It just doesn't, it's not too obtuse to where it's like, wow, this feels like a product. And then when it comes to black levels, it is very inky without crushing detail. Things like the jet black like suits look great. You know, you're able to discern things like pockets and different rivets and stitching pattern without it, you know, crushing the detail. You're still able to see discernible detail within the actual like jacket, which was crazy because it was inky black, but you're still able to see the nuances of the jacket, so that was pretty cool. Whites are also as bright as ever, and they don't have a gray undertone to it as a lot of other ones do. Overall, the HDR, I would say, is demo quality, and it reminds me of Kubrick's Spartacus. If you have that on 4K, it kind of reminds me of that. And lastly is the audio. The audio is the same audio track from the 2012 Blu-ray and the original 2.0 mono track. But overall, I mean, it sounds great. I mean, being that this is a musical, vocal performances and the nuances within people's voices are great. Other dialogue as well has a natural feeling, as opposed to some older films, especially being 7 years old, as I mentioned. They have like a sort of radio feel to it, but like a filter over it. But this doesn't have it. You know, the audio track is mostly, again, front based, but you are gonna have some spatial audio to be found, whether it's like a crowd talking and then someone, you know, there's upfront dialogue, but then there's crowd talking in the background, or whether it's walking on the sidewalk with rain pouring. You know, and even though this doesn't have a Dolby Atmos track or even a 7.1 audio track, I felt like the 5.1 and the 2, even the 2.0 serviced the film enough to feel like it did when it came out 70 years ago. Overall, is this a must-own to every 4K owner? Not really. I mean, if you're into color depths and HDR, yes, the HDR is a must-own demo quality. I would say if you're into old Hollywood, if you already know the story and you like it, it's a must-own for musical fans, old Hollywood, older, film fans. I would say it's a must-own. But for people who are like into like, oh, I want to see Avatar on 4K, this won't be for you. This is more for the classic film, film fans. So if you're into 2001: A Space Odyssey, if you're into Stanley Kubrick's Spartacus, you're gonna love this, and this is definitely a must-own. This is definitely up there with the best film to 4K transfers. So that was it. Let me know down below if you guys got Singin' in the Rain on 4K. I know some people who ordered it from Amazon, it got delayed for another couple days. Rest in peace, Ken from Mid-Level Media. I'm praying for you, okay? I'm praying to the 4K gods that they send it to you. But yeah, so let me know down below if you have Singin' on the Rain on 4K and what you thought about it. That is it. I am Mace from the Mockbus YouTube channel. If you like this review, please leave a like and subscribe if you're into 4K goodnesses. I do hunting videos, I do reviews, I do pickup videos, all that good stuff. So again, thank you so much for watching the video of mine. I am Mason from the Mockbus YouTube channel. Please have yourself a good day, night, evening, afternoon, morning, whenever you're watching this. Please stay safe and God bless. Cheers and long live physical media. Peace out, guys.